All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai being the true name of His only begotten Son. And I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to you, Aki, and pushing out this word in sincerity and in truth, the hopeful elect. Lord willing, this be a edifying lesson going into how the Lord is going to give us that ability to manipulate the elements, because the Lord did that himself, man. He was able to change the elements. You go into that word element, it comes from the Latin word elementum, and what it means is matter at its basic form. So everything that we see around us is made out of a certain type of material, man, a certain type of matter, and Esau calls them atoms, man. So everything's made up of atoms, but the Lord is going to give us the knowledge to where we understand how atoms work, how they come together and everything like that, to be able to exhibit spiritual power, man. To where you can push out fire out your hand, man. To where you can teleport, and things like that, man. These are things that are actually going to be happening. Some brothers are going to get that ability on this side, and the rest of the elect will get that on the other side, man. But I'm gonna dive straight into it. This is St. John 14 and 12. It says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father." Now we know that Yahweh Shai was the ultimate sacrifice. He defeated sin in his flesh, and had to deal with a whole bunch of hell, man. But what it says that we shall do these works and greater. So it's not talking about that work, It's talking about the miracles, man. It's talking about the miracles that the Lord did. We're gonna do those works and greater, man. Because the Lord, hey, He did miraculous miracles, man. It says that books couldn't even contain, books couldn't hold all the miracles that the Lord did when He was walking upon the earth. But we're gonna be able to do those same things and a lot greater, especially in these times to come. Because these are greater times than any time upon the planet, man. So He's really going to exhibit His power in these last days. And I'm going to go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. I'll start at verse 16. It says, "For in His hands," talking about Yahweh, "for in His hands are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. For He hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made, and the operation of the elements." And that's right, man. So the Lord is gonna us being joint heirs, and we know that this is Wisdom of Solomon. So we know that through the Spirit, Solomon was a carnation of Yahweh Shai, man. So Solomon had the ability, or Solomon was given that wisdom then, to where he knew how the elements operated, man. And then when he came as Yahweh Shai, he had that same ability, man, to where he understood and knew the elements. And us being joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, we're gonna also have that knowledge, man. And Lord, hey, and if you can receive it through the Spirit, hey, Lord willing, we were those men that helped create the heavens and the earth. So He's gonna just give us remembrance of the knowledge that we already have within us, man. Cleanse out our pineal gland, put us on a higher level to where we can understand these elements once again and have spiritual power, And while I finish, I'll go a little bit further on this. This is verse 18. It says, "The beginning, ending, and midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun, and the change of seasons, the circuits of years, and the position of stars, the natures of living creatures, and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds, and the reasonings of men, the diversities of plants, and the virtues of roots." And I'll finish it right there. But yeah, the Lord had or Yahweh had given Yahweh Shai, or King Solomon at the time, the knowledge of the elements, man. And He's gonna give that unto us. And we're going to be able to do miraculous things. We're going to do great works and greater miracles that were seen aforetime, man. And this is St. John chapter 2, starting at verse 3. And when they were And when they wanted wine, the mother of Yahushua said unto him, they have no wine. Yahushua said unto her, woman, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet come. Because at the time, it wasn't time for Yahushua to be glorified on the planet Earth, man. The times that we're coming in, when Yahushua comes back, that's when he's going to receive his glory, man. But it wasn't time for him to really exhibit all of his might and his power. And it says, verse 5, his mother said unto the servants, whatsoever he said unto you, do it. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone, after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece. Yahweh said unto them, fill the water pots with water. So he just told the servants, fill up these pots with water, and he was going to work a miracle. And it says, and they filled them up to the brim. And he said unto them, draw out now, and bear unto the governor of the feast. And they bear it. When the ruler of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and knew not whence it was, but the servants which drew the water knew, the governor of the feast called the bridegroom. So they drew out, he drew out the water, and he tasted it, and it was wine, man. So Yahushua had turned that water into wine. In verse 10 it says, and saith unto him, every man at the beginning doth set forth good wine, and when men have well drunk, then that which is worse. But thou hast kept the good wine until now. This beginning of miracles did Yahushua in Cana of Galilee, and manifested forth his glory, and his disciples believed on him. So the Lord had that miracle shown, he had turned that water into wine. And he had to manipulate the elements to do that, man, because he had the knowledge to do so, And we're going to have that same knowledge. Some brothers on this side, will receive that spiritual power, will get that knowledge, But ultimately, hey, man, everybody's going to be able to have that knowledge, man. The elect of our nation, man. We're going to all have the knowledge of the elements, And this is Saint... I'll go to Job. This is Job chapter 5. Salakia. This is Job chapter 5, verse 23. Well, I'll go up to verse 21. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of the earth. Verse 23. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. But that's right, we're going to be in league with the stones of the field, man. That means that we're gonna be able to use them and have the knowledge to manipulate them and do as we please with them, man. He's gonna give us that understanding, man, to where we can do miraculous things that haven't been seen before, And that's just an example of spiritual power, man. When we can change these elements and do as we please with them. And this is I'm gonna go to Songs of Solomon chapter 8, and then it even tells you in the scriptures, man, you have that faith as a grain of a mustard seed, man. You're going to be able to move mountains, and we're going to be able to do that, Lord willing. We be a part of that number, But yeah, this is Songs of Solomon chapter 8, going to verse 8. It says, we have a little sister, and she hath no breast. What shall we do for our sister in the day when she shall be spoken for? If she be a wall, so if she be flat-chested, we will build upon her a palace of silver. And if she be a door, we will enclose her with boards of cedar. So it's telling you right there, hey, if you had a woman, you know what I'm saying? She might be flat-chested, might not have no ass or nothing like that. You're going to be able to manipulate the elements and change her to how you please her, man. I mean, how you please, whatever you like, man. You want some sides, deep breasts, then that's what you can give her, man. Whatever pleases you, man. You want her to have a little cake, then you can give her a little cake, man. And this isn't far-fetched, because Esau does it on the left-hand side in this kingdom. What does he do, man? You see women, they get ass shots, they get breast implants, man. So if Esau can do it on the left-hand side on this side, man, how much more on the right-hand side, How much more in righteousness, man? We're going to be able to do these things, man. That's not far-fetched, If you have faith, then you can receive that. But this is an example of him giving us that knowledge first of how all these elements work, tap into our pineal gland, give us a remembrance of the things that we once already knew to where we can do so, man. And I'll finish it off. This is verse 10. It says, I am a wall and my breasts like towers. Then was I in his eyes as one that found favor. So yeah, man, you're going to be able to change your woman however you want, man. You like green eyes, you're going to be able to give your woman green eyes, man. Hey, whatever you like, that's what you're going to be able to do. It tells you in the scriptures that he's going to give us all of our heart's desires, man, and more. So you might desire your woman to be a certain way. You can change her that way, man. And you might desire, you might want mountains around your palace, man. You can lift up mountains from out the ground, man. Just like in Avatar, man. Avatar, the Last Airbender. It was a show, that came on back in the day. I don't know if it's still on. But watching it as a kid, man, the Avatar, he was able to bring rocks out of the ground, water, do whatever he want with it, have it swirl around in the air and everything. It tells you in the scriptures that also that eye hath not seen, ear hath not heard, what the Lord has pretty much prepared, or what the Lord, roughly paraphrasing, what the Lord has prepared for his servants, man. And it hasn't even entered into the heart of man. And we know that that word heart is mind, man. It goes back to the Hebrew word la'ab, So certain things haven't even entered into our mind, man. We can't even physically imagine what the Lord has prepared for us, to what we're going to be able to do, man. So, hey, with that, I hope that's edifying, man. I hope that builds brothers up to know of the power that we're going to have, man. And that all this affliction that we're enduring, man, is nothing compared to what the Lord has prepared for us, man. That's why the Lord could so easily tell the disciples, man, hey, let the dead bury the dead. Don't worry about everything else in this life, man. You're gonna receive it back 100-fold. All this stuff is nothing, man. But hey, spiritual power, man, that's beautiful, man. That's something to look forward to, man. That's something to strive for, man. To be able to do all these things that like you see on X-Men. These are things we're actually going to be able to do, man, to change these elements and do whatever you want. I can't even imagine, what it is. But, hey, Lord willing, that was edifying. Just a quick hit on that, man. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.